So my question is, where do we start? Like, I'm really inspired by all of your teachings.
Well, life sort of dictates where you start, doesn't it? Because you've got some momentum going, which you can make some decisions about. So it's an awareness of momentum that's going and a determination to be deliberate about the momentum that you keep going. So it's like knowing when to apply attention, when to withdraw attention, when to encourage momentum, when to discourage momentum. That really is where you start, isn't it? Because no one can just start over. There's momentum. You have people around you, you have things you believe, there are things that are already happening, there are things that have manifested and are manifesting. So you just sort of jump in with renewed determination to guide it a little more specifically. That's the way we'd play it.
Well, I feel like I do that.
Yeah? We'd say to ourselves, I know I'm a vibrational being in a vibrational universe. And I know that there are spinning grid discs all over the place, and that I'm on one all the time, and everybody around me is on the same disc. And I can stay, or I can choose something different. We would just start talking to ourselves in very deliberate terminology like that. I'm in charge here. I'm in control, not of what anybody else does. I'm not in control of who gets on my disc and who doesn't, but I am in charge of which disc I select.
So I keep selecting the same one and get frustrated.
But we don't think that you'll do that accidentally or by default so much anymore. We think that next time you realize that you've selected a similar disc, that you might say something to yourself such as, did I have any options? Could I have done it differently? And how do I get out ahead of this? And tonight when I go to sleep, I'm going to set that intention. And in the morning, I'm going to choose with more determination. And tomorrow we'll yield results of that new decision. And tomorrow will yield new results of that new decision. And you will feel empowered for it.
And when I get stuck on that same choice...
And when momentum keeps me going, I'll acknowledge this is natural. This is momentum. Now's not the time for me to try to do anything about it. I'm just going to fall from the airplane. It'll be over soon, and I'll start more momentum on a different subject tomorrow.
So totally change, like focus on something completely
because
different.
as you writhe and wiggle and beat up on yourself, it just adds more momentum, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I get stuck in the cycle of frustration. Like frustration.
So there's no such thing as stuck because everything's in motion. But the feeling of stuck is the momentum just carrying you onto a disc to rendezvous with others that are not up to speed with what you really want and who you really are.
Yeah.
So we'd start by saying, I'm going to stop saying stuck. But you can't stop saying stuck when you're saying stuck, because stuck's sort of stuck in your vibrational craw.
Yeah.
We would say, it isn't that I'm stuck, it's that I've got patterns of vibration that give me the appearance of being stuck, but I can't be stuck because energy's always in motion. We've been saying it's like things are always changing, but when you keep choosing the same disc, things keep changing to more of the same. So
Yes.
It feels like they're not changing, but
Yes.
they really are changing. So I could as easily change them to more of the same on this disc or change them to something different on this disc. It's just a matter of choosing something different, telling different stories, meditating more, lightening up, not asking the same questions over and over again, laying new pipes, not trying so hard to get things that feel stuck to get going. You should have seen these well-meaning men working for days trying to unclog those pipes. It was such an exercise in unnecessary futility. Seemed like the path of least resistance, but it wasn't. It so wasn't, you see, when pipes are so plentiful.
Yeah.
Yeah? Something more?
I have in what I do for a living, I have this I have this dream of becoming a rock star. And I have a lot of people ask me, well, make statements that that's a little too self-centered. And
really,
and
don't be selfish and choose what you want. Choose what we want. What you want to say to yourself about somebody that responds to you like that is, clearly I've rendezvoused with you on a disc that I do not choose. And I do not blame you for your conspicuously ridiculous response to me, because I'm on that disc too, and if I weren't there, you couldn't say that to me. But I'm going to choose a disc that you're not on next time. Because there's plenty of people that believe that they can create their own reality. See? And every one of those who have accomplished what you are now saying you want were standing right where you're standing at one point. They just didn't get on a disc with a naysayer and hang around very long. They got on a different disc. And it's not because people are not well-meaning. They usually are. It's that they just don't know what they're talking about when it's about you. They only know what they're talking about them. And then they superimpose how they feel about them over you. And if they do it often enough, then you believe about you what they believe about them. And then they're happy, but you're not a rock star.
Wait, can you say that again?
Probably not.
Okay.
We'll say it in a different way.
Okay, thank you.
They are well-meaning, but most people are, sort of locked into their pattern of expectation. So when they tell you something about you, it's not really about you. It's about how they feel about them. Mm. But they use your name and they use your example. And if you listen to them long enough, then the momentum that they have going about them becomes the momentum that you have going about you. And then they're more comfortable, because it really is more comfortable to be on a disc with somebody who thinks just like you do. And there are a lot of people that just want to give in to not wanting because they don't know that they can control the universe's response to them. But you know too much. You can't go back. You cannot unwant something, you see. All you can do is get up to speed with your desire and then watch how clever the universe is about pointing out the ways and giving you the inspiration in order to have or be or do whatever it is that you choose. There's a whole lot of people that are on their way to gold who have a whole lot of wonderful experiences along the way. And when we tell that story, it's not a story about not finding gold. It's a story about you deciding what you think about and not letting what other people think about what they've been thinking about, now what they're thinking about you, control what you think about you. But it takes some deliberate thinking and getting out ahead of it and then watching the universe's response to your clear thought before you begin to allow yourself to feel the worthy feeling that you need to feel in order to receive and realize the path.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that it's within that worthiness of like, oh, okay, well.
It must just make people crazy to not believe that anybody can be a rock star and then see rock stars all over the place. That just must make them nuts. It must make people crazy to really believe that there's no gold in them thar hills and then meet someone who struck it rich. That just must make you crazy. Well, it doesn't make you crazy. It makes you believe in your unworthiness, you see. And a lot of people are trying to soothe their feeling of unworthiness by convincing you in yours. Because if you'll stop thriving, then they won't feel so bad about not thriving. But you didn't come to support mediocrity. You came to encourage, deliberate creation. You came to
Yes.
create your own reality. You came to teach through the clarity of your example. You came to teach about momentum. You came to understand momentum and apply it. You came to use the leverage that creates worlds toward your creative endeavors. You
Yes.
came to feel the blessed awareness that non-physical has about you. You came to experience the continuity of fabulous well-being that is already in motion. You came to promote the general welfare. You came to experience freedom at every level of your being. You came for expansion, knowing that it was inevitable. But most of all, you came expecting to live joyfully ever after. You did.
Yes.
And we do. Yeah, really good conversation.
Thank you.
There are a handful of things that we would do to deliberately establish a good environment for really good feeling momentum to begin. We would put ourselves in our bed at night and we would acknowledge, while I slumber, momentum will stop. And in the morning, I can start it wherever I choose. We would make that statement to ourselves every night when we go to bed. When I get up in the morning, I'm going to choose a grid spinning disc deliberately. I'm not going to let my email choose it for me. I'm not going to let what's on the television choose it for me. I'm not going to let the phone call that comes in choose it for me. I'm not going to let anything choose it for me. I'm going to choose it. And then when you wake up, lie there and make a good choice. A new pipe kind of choice.
Okay.
Something that doesn't have any negative momentum going, that has the potential of positive momentum going. So that's the first thing that we do. The next thing we would do is we would say to ourselves, I'm going to meditate every day. Every day, I'm going to set aside 15 or 20 minutes where I'm going to deliberately quiet my mind. Because when I quiet my mind, I stop thought. And when I stop thought, I stop momentum. And when I stop momentum, I can start momentum right where I mean to. Meditation is the best process for me laying new pipes that I have so far. And I'm going to do it every day. I'm going to stop momentum and I'm going to lay new pipes.
Okay.
And then the other thing we would do is watch for positive momentum and keep it going. And that's what books of positive aspects are about. That's what rampages of appreciation are about. You see that with us in the gatherings. Every now and again we'll get going on something and the momentum is such that we just ride it out. We just write it out because it feels so good to write it out. That's what we do. And we wouldn't think so much about any of this. We all make too much of all of it.
Yeah.
Good enough?
Mm-hmm. Can I ask the curiosity question?
Yeah. How much momentum is in a curiosity question?
Well, I'm actually, infants and very small children focus on me when I'm in public. And I'm very aware of that. And I can tell it's not actually me they're focused on. Can you answer for me what it is they're actually seeing?
The younger they are, the more they are aware of high frequency energy. And so when that happens, it's an indication that you've got clean pipes. And they say, oh, look, I'm one too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Stand if you think it's you. Further back. Stand if you think it's you. Further back. Yes. How do you feel about your pipes? Does it matter? Does it matter what's going on with your pipes since you have the ability to lay new ones? Isn't that nice to know?
It is. I was thinking about the laying new pipes. Getting out ahead to me is like laying new pipes before you need them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We think that's a good idea. Just always have fresh, clean pipes through which the universe can yield gold or anything else that you might like.
Because, I look at maintaining momentum, and to me that is the way I would try to do it, or I do try to do it.
Now let's think about that. If there's momentum flowing through your pipes, they're not as likely to get clogged, are they?
No.
So if your pipes are flowing, you don't have to lay new ones. And there's a certain amount of momentum, you can play it any way you want. If you've got momentum going, you don't need to lay new pipes.
No, true.
But it's illogical that you would ever not have a slowing of momentum, because you're living life and there's plenty to focus upon. So
It happens.
yeah.